Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sabrina and I have something perfect for this time of year. It is a high protein chicken stuffing casserole. And obviously, I'm going to make a couple tweaks, make this macro friendly, but it is still going to be delicious and it's also going to come together so quickly. So if you enjoy this video, please feel free to give it a like and subscribe to my channel. And let's go ahead and see what this casserole is all about. Okay, so one of my favorite things about this casserole is that it's going to come together so easily and it's also very delicious and makes use of things you might have on hand already this time of year. So obviously, to get started, we're going to need some chicken. And did I cook up chicken for this? No, I used a rotisserie chicken and I'm going to be using 15 ounces of this rotisserie chicken. If you had chicken tenderloins, that would be a great substitute. You could also use some leftover turkey if you happen to have that on hand. But I'm going to make it easy for myself and use some of this roast chicken. Okay, so this is one of these fun casseroles where we're kind of going to put everything on the bottom and then we're going to top it with stuffing. And I've seen this done a couple different ways. You could just use the dry stuffing mix on top of like our chicken and our soupy broccoli mixture on the bottom, or you can cook it up ahead of time. I think it just depends on what kind of texture preference you have. I'm here for fluffy stuffing. Like that is very important to me. So I will be cooking up my stuffing ahead of time. But again, most of the recipes I saw, they're going to be putting the dry stuffing on top. So that can make it even easier and you can skip a step. But for me, I really want that fluffy stuffing topping. So I'm going to be making the stuffing first and then putting it on top of all of our other ingredients. And doing so will require some chicken broth. So I just have some low sodium chicken broth here. We're going to be using 1.5 cups. If you are putting it on dry, then you would just put all the ingredients, put the stuffing on top, and then put 1.5 cups of this on top. You could also put some butter if you like. I'm actually using this to cook up the stuffing ahead of time. The box recipe also calls for some butter. I'm skipping that butter. I feel like we're going to have plenty of creaminess here with these condensed soups. And I also want this to be sort of like getting the same feels of chicken, roast, turkey dinner, but more macro friendly. So this one's going to have 26 grams of protein, which is great. But yeah, so I'm going to be making some swaps like that. If that offends you, add butter, add whatever else you want. But for my creaminess, I'm going to be adding 2 of these Campbell's condensed cream of chicken soup. And this one is 60 calories for a serving. And there are 2.5 servings in each of these little tins. So I'm going to be doing 2 of these. And then this will be kind of our soupy mixture. I'm going to add 2 ounces, which is 2 servings of this fat-free mozzarella cheese. And what I like about this, incredible macros. It's 45 calories per serving, and that is 9 grams of protein. So I kind of wanted to up the protein a little bit, get this up to 26 grams. So this is what I'm going to do. And I don't think it hurts that it's going to add some lovely cheesy creaminess to it. And then a lot of the recipes I saw, you're just using your chicken or your turkey, condensed milk, all of that. But I figured, why not get some more vegetables in? I feel like broccoli to me is a very non-offensive vegetable that's going to work really well in this. So I'm basically going to put the turkey and the broccoli down. I'm going to mix up these 2 tins of soup with some cheese, and then I'm just going to top it all with the stuffing. And it's going to be so easy, so delicious. This recipe is going to be making 6 servings for me, 300 calories, 26 grams of protein. So let's get started putting this all together. Okay, as I mentioned, I'm going to be using 2 servings of this, and I like to weigh everything out. So let me get 2 ounces. Perfect, we have our 2 ounces, so now I'm going to add these 2 tins of Campbell's cream of chicken soup. Okay, and I'm just going to mix this all together. Okay, I've got my creamy mixture all together here, and then if I haven't mentioned already, 6 servings, so I'm using an 11 by 7 casserole tin. I really love this one, so that's going to be kind of perfect size for this. And then I went ahead and just steamed my broccoli in the bag. What I'm going to do now is give my chicken, I've kind of got these big chunks here, I'm going to give it a rough chop, and then I'm also going to open the broccoli, make sure there aren't any huge pieces, and then get all of this down into the casserole. Okay, great. You can see I've done a rough chop on all of this chicken. This is looking fabulous, so I'm just going to get it into our dish. And again, this is 15 ounces that I am using for the 6 servings. Now I'm just kind of spreading it around, making sure it's nice and even. So this is what we're working with so far. Okay, now let's get into the broccoli. So we have all of our broccoli just coming out of the bag that it was steaming in, and I'm just gonna break up the bits that are really, really large, kind of a little bit too much for a mouthful. And then I will just spread that on top of the chicken. Okay, so we have our broccoli in nice bite-sized pieces. So I'm just gonna add this to the chicken. And this is my kind of dish because it's combining a nice protein and some vegetables. And then we're putting all the kind of creamy stuff on top. So I feel like it's the best of both worlds. And yes, I am using my knife to disperse of the broccoli. If you are someone who's a little bit more refined than me, maybe use a spatula or something else that won't kill you. Okay, so this is looking really good. I basically have my chicken layer and then I have my broccoli layer. And what I'm gonna do now is just season everything. So I'm gonna use some onion salt, I'm going to use some garlic powder, and I'm going to use some pepper. I decided to trade in my knife for an actual spatula, so I'm just gonna stir this up so the seasonings can disperse a bit here. Make sure we've got everything coated. And it's pretty forgiving with the seasoning, so use what you like and what you have on hand. Okay, that is looking good to me. So now, this is gonna be fun. We're just gonna top it with all of this goodness. Woo! Wow, this is gonna be so creamy. And it's gonna make like its own gravy. All right, so now I'm just smoothing this all out on top of our chicken and broccoli. Okay, it's looking really good. I hope you can see. I've just put all of our condensed soup on top of the chicken and broccoli. And then I went ahead and I cooked up the stovetop, and all I did was cook it in 1.5 cups of this chicken broth. And you can see, I think it looks like perfection. I'm not gonna miss the butter when I have all this other creamy stuff, so I'm not worried about it, but again, feel free to add if you like. And as I mentioned, a lot of people like to just add the dry topping to it, but I love fluffy stuffing. So I wanted to cook it up first to ensure maximum fluffiness. So what I'm doing now is just putting this on top and then attempting to do this in a way that is even and not incredibly messy. Guys, this is looking amazing and it already smells so good. Honestly, this is the quickest, easiest recipe and it's gonna be so delicious. So we're just gonna pop this into the oven at 350. I'm gonna cover it with foil for about 30 minutes. If you had raw chicken in here or if you were cooking the stuffing through, I'd up it to 375 and do that for about 40 minutes. But because everything here is already cooked, we're just kind of putting it all together. So I'm gonna go ahead, cover this in foil, and then get it in the oven, but I'll probably come in and give you guys a close-up because this looks amazing. All right, so this is everything a little bit closer up so you can see what's going on. It looks amazing. All right, so we are about to get the casserole into the oven. I've got it preheated to 350, and I'm just gonna cover it with some foil. Okay, there we go, and let's get this bad boy in. Okay, I'm gonna set a timer for 30 minutes and then we will come back and see how it's doing. Okay, so this beauty has just come out of the oven. What I did was 30 minutes with the foil on, and then after that, I took the foil off and let it cook for another 10 minutes. You know, I like my fluffy stuffing, but I think a little bit of that crispy texture on top will be great. So I'm just gonna let this cool down, and then I will show you what it looks like all plated up, but it smells and it looks fabulous. Okay, so our chicken stuffing casserole has had enough time to cool, so I'm going to go ahead and plate it up. And as a reminder, this is going to make about 6 servings, and then I quickly wanted to show you the macros. So this is how I'm tracking it in MyFitnessPal. You can see each serving is around 300 calories, 7.7 grams of fat, 33.9 grams of carbs, and 26 grams of protein. And here's a little look into how I was tracking all of those ingredients. Super simple. Just the broccoli, the condensed cream of chicken soup, a little bit of cheese in the condensed soup, our rotisserie chicken, our stovetop, and some chicken broth. Okay, and this is how it's looking all plated up. You can see it is full of that delicious creamy mixture, our chicken, our broccoli, and our stuffing. This is a perfect comfort meal, really great in these colder months, especially around the holidays. So I hope you enjoy this recipe. It's an easy one that's going to allow you to get 26 grams of protein and a lot of that comfort food vibe. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I am looking forward to seeing you in the next video.